Are you waiting for the other shoe to drop before making a needed change? This is a must listen. It's the encouragement you need today. Welcome to episode 84, Embracing Support, Transforming Independence into Interdependence. Hi, I'm Clarinda, and you are listening to the Feel Light, Mind, and Body podcast, created for women like you. Women who are experiencing success in so many areas of life, but are struggling with weight loss, stress eating, and decreased energy. Losing weight can feel hard, heavy, and restrictive. That's why every week I will be offering you a different perspective, tips, encouragement, and a unique approach so that you can feel lighter in your mind and body rather than feeling deprived, frustrated, or discouraged. What if you could feel free, yet in control around food for the rest of your life? What if you could enjoy your experience of losing weight and getting healthier? You absolutely can. You're in the right place. Take this time for yourself and let's dive in. Last week, I hinted we would explore how rest and support are interconnected. Today, as I reflect on my clients' challenges, I realized you might also need this empowering nudge. We excel at offering support to others, but why is it so hard to accept support ourselves? And why don't we provide ourselves with the needed support? We've been taught to value strength and independence, which are undoubtedly admirable qualities. However, anything in extreme can become counterproductive. What often gets overlooked in these teachings is our human need for help during times of vulnerability. I remember when my dad was building a barn, he hesitated to ask for help until absolutely necessary, even though he never thought twice about helping others. What we saw modeled influences how we operate today, and it's up to us to explore what we want to adopt, tweak, or let go of. Why do you think you hesitate to ask for support? When your body prompts you to rest and you ignore it, what might you be subconsciously thinking? These are questions worth pondering, as they can profoundly influence your next decision. I've heard clients lament, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like it's going to take something major to wake me up." This mindset can unfortunately manifest into reality. I've seen this firsthand, from my mother's breakdown to countless patients regretting their inaction after suffering serious health consequences. When I notice that I'm resisting support, I remind myself that it's easier to support myself now than to rely on others later when illness or disease sets in. There's no guarantee, but we can definitely decrease our chances when we're taking care of ourselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, and mentally. Stress, resentment, anger, loneliness, nutrition, sleep, activity, habits, environment, and more all contribute to our future self. As mentioned last week, too often we feel guilty when taking time to take a break, especially in the middle of the day. But it's a loving, supportive action step for optimal mental and physical health. Maybe you think asking for help signifies weakness. I've battled that thought too. I've also experienced the side effects of thinking I was superwoman, and that didn't end well. It ended with me being hospitalized with severe spasms and back pain. Remember, our bodies will enforce rest one way or another. We're inherently social beings designed for connection. It's built into our DNA. Let's stop trying to be superhuman. It's not supportive or sustainable. Consider that not asking for help could indicate low self-esteem or a weak sense of self-worth. As part of the Feel Light, Mind, and Body program, I emphasize developing a strong relationship with yourself as crucial for achieving any goal, including weight loss and maintenance. Asking for support doesn't mean you're incapable. When my dad passed away, a friend insisted on helping me wrap Christmas gifts, despite my initial refusal. Her support was invaluable during that tough time. We often think we need to reciprocate immediately, but support doesn't need to be a transaction. It's about caring for each other. However, support for reaching a goal can be a transaction. It can add to the accountability factor. Back in episode 56, we talked about the 3 best gifts you can give yourself, the supportive CLC formula. And then in episode 52, reaching your goals, the hidden power of support. Giving and receiving support are vital. Support usually feels better for us when we perceive it as a fair exchange. What that looks like or sounds like depends on our perspective. It will vary from person to person. A fair exchange might be simply being in the company and conversation with another person while helping them out. The fair exchange may be trading money for value. I know I love and appreciate it when one of you gives a 5-star rating, leaves a review, or shares this podcast with someone. I see that as a fair exchange for the time, paid platform, and value I provide for free. The value for you is the applicable tips, encouragement, and new knowledge that allows you to make informed decisions for your health and relationships. The value for me is reaching more people who need this by increasing the podcast reach and visibility. But we mustn't give from the expectation of receiving, otherwise resentment can build up. Giving freely without expectation or attachment to someone else's response needs to come from a conscious decision that aligns with your values rather than from people-pleasing or a sense of obligation. Reciprocity doesn't have to look the same. Maybe you recommended someone for a new position, and later she extended you a +1 offer to attend a valuable event with her. Maybe you dropped off a pot of soup for your friend when she was sick, and later she supported you by being a confidential sounding board over a conflict you were struggling with. So don't compare your talents and gifts. Think of it as supporting a need that matters to them. High standards and a need for control can obstruct our willingness to ask for help. That's me. Is it also you? Here's a very current example. This is episode 84, and I'm still editing the audio as well as a blog, as I'm concerned that someone else might not pick up on the random glitches that appear in every episode. For example, just to give you a sneak peek, a line from my pre-recorded intro that you hear every week may appear mid-sentence 3/4 of the way through the episode. I'm like, what the heck? But really, would that be the end of the world if that person who is editing missed that? It feels like it would be for the perfectionistic part of me, as well as my values for high-quality work. But to support myself, I need to get some time back. So I'm saying this out loud to all of you to add to my accountability. Here goes. I've decided by episode 100, I plan to hire a virtual assistant to help with editing to free up more time for content creation and coaching. I recognize from what I've learned from my mentors that it may take interviewing and trialing a handful before finding the best fit. But I know that taking the time to go through this process now will pay off within a few months. What about you? How could you provide yourself with similar support for what you have going on? Maybe it's having someone clean your home every other week. Maybe it's delegating a task to someone at home or work. Or maybe it's hiring me as your life and weight coach. If you're thinking, oh, that would be nice, I'd love to not gain my usual 5 to 10 pounds over the next 3 months. Well, that's one of the various ways I can support you. And by saying yes, you too are supporting yourself. I've opened up availability times for 20-minute consults for July, and there are a few options left for June. So just go to the episode notes, click on the link, and see the time that works for you. It's free and there's zero pressure. I'll help you decide if this is your next step or if you need something else instead. Remember, asking for help doesn't make you weak or incompetent. It's about embracing that you're strong enough to know when you need support. Next, perhaps you see yourself as shy. Regardless, we have to take responsibility to ask for what we need. No one can read our minds. Speak up and practice asking for little things to help you get past your shyness and build up your confidence muscle. Fear of rejection, of someone saying no to our request, can also hold us back from asking for help. Asking without an expectation is what helps in this case. I never want someone to feel obligated or do it but with a bad attitude. We can keep in mind that everyone has their own life, but still ask them, what if they have the time and would be delighted to help? You'll never know unless you ask. So why disappoint or say no to your request ahead of time? I get it. We do it as a form of self-protection, but learning how to manage all the emotions that come up around that will help you get better results in all areas. Guaranteed. It's one of the skills I help my clients develop or strengthen as we create a life they love. Asking for help 10 years ago was humbling and a valuable lesson in realizing I wasn't invincible, even though I was strong. It meant coming to an acceptance and maturity that asking for help didn't mean I was incompetent, weak, or inadequate. My friends and family wanted to help me, but they told me I had to let them into my situation so they could do so. They couldn't read my mind or see my to-do list. They also helped me to consider this next question that I'm extending to you. Are you depriving others of the altruistic, loving, and satisfied feelings that they would get to feel by helping you? Why should it just be you that gets to feel good by helping them? It doesn't make them superior and you inferior, or vice versa. And think about it. By accepting help from them now, they may feel more comfortable asking you when they're in a season of needing more rest and support. That is a balanced part of living in harmony, loving and supporting one another as well as yourself. That's part of creating and nurturing a healthy self, family, and community. That's contributing to longevity and life satisfaction. As my final encouragement, today, reflect on where you're comfortable asking for support and where you resist it. Moving from feeling stuck and unsupported to being proactive about your needs is crucial for your well-being. You can do this. Until next week. Now, do yourself the biggest favor. From love, take at least one action step from what you learned today. Knowledge without application won't give you the results that you desire. Let me know on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, what you are choosing to do and when. And yes, please leave a podcast review wherever you are listening to this. When people read your words and can see themselves in them, then you are contributing to women empowering other women. And that feels amazing. You just might change or save a life today.